Nuestra siguiente invitada es de la plenaria de Pearson, Nancy Reeves. Nancy Reeves holds a Bachelor of Arts in Literature and Philosophy, a Master of Arts in Spanish from Penn State University, and a Master of Arts in English from the University of Louisiana at Monroe, as well as a postdoctoral studies in research from the University of Leicester and in curriculum from Pan American University. She has taught in different academic settings from elementary to university level in different countries. She has also given lectures in several countries. She has worked in curriculum design in several institutions. She joined the Pearson family as product specialist from Central America in 2017 and works as academic coach for Mexico and Central America. So let's welcome Professor Nancy. Thank you for being here, really.
Oh, thank you. It's been very enlightening, everything that people have shared. So I hope that I'm as entertaining and I provide you with all the information that you might need regarding Pearson and our resources that we would like to share with you. So I don't know if we can share the presentation. Perfect. So before we start, just wanted to let you know that all of the information provided by Pearson, it's abided by the confidential rights of Pearson Educación Mexico. So we can go ahead and start. So we're going to talk to you about some of the resources that we have for our adolescents. And we're going to emphasize on a new resource, a new book that we have, but also one component that we as teachers have been very concerned about, which is assessment. So we're going to split this session within the resource, and we're also going to talk about assessment resources that we have available. So one of the things that we have brand new is hashtag. Yes, you can continue to the next slide. Hashtag is an English product based on English American, of course, and it's going to give you several levels where you're going to combine the global scale of English, which is one of the scales that we use in Pearson, that it gives you a granular approach into learning the language, where, you know, we have different levels when we speak, when we write, and, you know, whenever we're listening. So it's going to give you ranges where the students are going to reach until they master the language, or we aim for them to master the language after we finish with the courses. The courses are going to start from an A1 level all up to a B2 level, which is something that we work within our institutions. And it's also going to be based with UNESCO's sustainability program. As you well know, right now with the 21st century and the globalization and the World Economic Forum, sustainability elements have become a crucial component and very important for our society. We want them to be aware of what's going on, and we want them to become, responsible citizens. So we're going to see that it's going to be aligned with UNESCO. It's going to provide spaces for students to develop skills that they will use for the future. And it's also going to be aligned with Bloom's taxonomy. As you well know, Bloom's taxonomy is one of the most crucial academic, or one of the elements that teachers do use whenever we're working in education. So can we go to the following slide, please? Okay, so why and who is going to need this book? You're going to see that it is for students of upper secondary from Brazil, Peru, Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, and Central America. So it's going to have a very targeted population for Latin American students, and it's going to be related to the needs that we have as a community of educators. You're going to see that it is for 3 to 5 hour program. So it is quite flexible. You're going to have, no problem whatsoever to teach it and implement it with your students, because you do have a number of activities, and notice that your aim will be up to B2 level. So you will have, the proper exams, the proper activities, and it's going to be something that will challenge the students, not only within the language component, but like I mentioned to you before, you're going to have the element of prepping the students for the future. You're going to see that it is, of course, it is an American English format, and it is going to be a 6-level program. And again, it's going to be This will be available in December 2022. So it's quite new. Nobody has it. So if you want to say, oh my God, I want to find information, you can totally contact Oserco and they will provide you with new information. You're going to see, again, like I mentioned to you before, it's going to be working with UNESCO Sustainability Development Goals, as well as Bloom's Taxonomy and 21st Century Skills. And like I mentioned to you before, all of this are combined with the aim to provide better skills for our students for their future. Nowadays, it is relevant that we prep them, as we heard from the previous speaker from yesterday. 21st century skills are a huge component into development of our students. So we are going to consider this, and we're also going to implement the taxonomy because we want to work with the higher order thinking skills. So it's going to be something quite useful for our young adults, and it's also going to give them that that awareness of our society. The sustainability component is something that has been worked with you for all of the societies, and you will see. Now we're going to go to the next slide. Okay, sorry. So you're going to see that this course structure is going to be, again, really formatted from the Bloom's taxonomy. Okay, it's going to evaluate, it's going to create, it's going to analyze, it's going to apply, and it's going to understand and remember. Notice that we're going to go from the lowest of the skills all the way to the highest pyramid of the Bloom's taxonomy. So the idea is that the content will be developed within 36 weeks. There's going to be a number of assessments. And of course, we are aiming that the students can achieve this within 40 weeks. So it is something that will keep the students up to date. They're going to be engaged. It's not something that they're going to, oh my God, this is so boring. No, they're going to be engaged in the activities, and they're going to be able to experience contents that are relatable to them. In regards to the students, if you want to know what is it that they will have access to, they will have the students book. They're going to have the language boosters, the language boosters are going to be additional practice that are going to really help our students out. Okay. In addition, you're going to have the digital content, which is quite useful nowadays that everybody is more into technology than they were before. And then we're going to have the teachers' information, which of course you have your teachers' resources, you have your book, you're going to still have your language boosters, and the platform that you're going to be using is quite useful. As you know, teachers and students, regardless that we know technology and are familiar with technology, we still need that resource that is quite easy for us to follow, because it can be overwhelming. Whenever we're using a new resource and we're planning with a new resource. So it's something that we're going to have available. And of course, the digital element. And it's going to be very important for our students to be working with that. Okay, if we can go to the following slide, please. I think so. Okay, so notice that here the modules are going to be divided by, depending on the amount of hours that you have per week, you're going to see the amount of modules that you have, okay? So for instance, for 3 weeks, you're going to have around 50 modules. For 4 weeks, you're going to have a very similar amount of modules, and you're going to be able to work with your students in this way, okay? In addition, 90 modules. And then you're going to have the video productions. The videos are just fantastic. They're so much fun. You're going to enjoy them a lot. You're going to have a total of 18, so you can spread them out. You can really practice with them. You can help the students and let them enjoy them. And also, the nice thing about the videos is that they're going to listen to the language as it is, with different accents, with different type of people. And the idea is to foster fluency, which is really important nowadays. They're going to have all the language boosters, which is going to be, again, something that will focus on the culture. They're going to be a game page. And of course, you're going to have the digital environment. Notice that learning environments are crucial to work with our students. And we're going to really develop that with hashtag. Hashtag is going to not only teach your students something new, but it's also going to give them those skills. So you're going to really create this whole dynamic and this whole environment for students to be quite engaged into what they're seeing and what they're working with. So it's not like they're going to be just learning grammar for grammar's sake or vocabulary for vocabulary's sake. They really are going to be exposed to something that will put them in a context which is provide them a meaningful experience within their learning, life. So we're going to go to the next one. So yeah, thank you so much. So yeah, so here we're going to see again that you're going to really emphasize the Sustainable Development Goals. This is something crucial. It used to be that you have only 4 pillars from UNESCO, but now we're going to be working with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are going to be progressively implemented into the program. So the students are going to constantly be working with the sustainable goals and little by little creating a more in-depth knowledge about them. In addition, we're going to be working with Bloom's taxonomy, which is quite useful for teachers who are very familiar with the Bloom's taxonomy. You know, your lower learning skills all the way to your higher order thinking skills. And it's going to be something quite useful for those teachers that are still quite, that embrace Bloom's taxonomy a little bit more than, other types of taxonomies. The program is quite flexible in the sense that you're going to see that you can implement it in different type of days, 3 or 4 or 5, depending on the way that you want to work with it. And also the fact that you have the digital components and then you have the materials and the lesson boosters, it's going to make it quite flexible for teachers and students to explore and to learn a little bit better, because at this time, it's a lot about what we want to know and how we want to learn it. So it's going to be really aiming at that intrinsical aspect and that self-awareness of like, okay, I need to learn English because, okay? You're going to be working with the 21st century. And as you can see, it is a topic, a trend that we've noticed lately, that it is about helping students develop those soft skills, prepping them for the future and teaching them, what they need. Whenever we went to school, nobody really taught us what we wanted to do. We learned it whenever we went to university, whenever we decided what our career was going to be. But here we're starting to give students the tools that they need in order to have those soft skills, which are, in this case, communication is one of the main ones. So you're going to see that our students are going to be working with that. You're going to have task-based learning. The students are going to have specific activities that they need to do, and those are going to be, of course, something that they have to be responsible for. Okay, can we go to the next slide? I speak a little bit faster. Oh, sorry. So here you're going to have videos. Like I said, the videos are quite amazing. I am an extremely visual person. I love watching videos. I am not a very good traditional student. So here the students are going to have those videos. They're going to have a theme. And like I mentioned to you before, you're going to have that learning environment, okay? You're going to have videos, you're going to have a theme, you're going to have vocabulary. So if the teacher wants to be super creative, they can create a whole dynamic around this video, around this unit and say, oh, okay, we're going to have like a little Paris in here because learning about cultures. So you can go ahead and foster this, and all of the resources that you have will help you with it. You're going to see that you have 1 video per unit, and there are 9. In this case, there will be, the 9 videos per level. You're going to have animated videos. The actors are really nice. They're young people, different accents, which again, it's important to remember that fluency is the key for communication, for proper communication. And then you're going to have different storyboards. And of course, you're going to have recording. You're going to see that all of them, the cast, again, is super young, super relatable. If you're a young student here in the audience, then you're going to see that this is something that you might be engaged. Or if you're a teacher and you want to, get the attention of your students, then this will be something interesting for you. If you can go to the next slide, please. Okay, so biggest issue with our teachers, with their students nowadays, they've been out, they've been working, remotely. So we need assessments. Presenta is one of the assessments that we have in Pearson that will help you understand how the students are. This is, again, focusing on the global scale of English. So it's a very granular report that it gives you. I took it and it's fantastic. It will tell you, for instance, that your written, it's a C2 and your speaking is a C1 or a B2 or a B1, and your listening might be an A1. So it does give you an idea of your speaking, writing, listening, and reading skills. And it gives you a whole concept of how you're, where you're at, what is the range. Because we never are like a completely C1. We never are completely C2. We have different layers. We're like little onions. So you're going to see that happens with our assessment. So if we can move to the next slide. Okay, so this one is going to measure all of your abilities, understanding of the spoken and the written language. And you're going to see that it is about everyday topics. You're going to listen audios from different accents, British and American. It's going to be based on a time setup. The students are going to listen, they're going to have to type, they're going to have to repeat. So that is the way that we can prove that it is assessing all of the 4 skills. So the format of the test is going to be divided by different like chapters or sections where you're going to be able to assess those components. If we go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the report that you get from Pearson is quite accurate. I have taken it a couple of times, so I'll tell you that it is actually, it's very detailed, and I'm going to show you something about it. It is quite effective. It is very accessible for your pockets. It's not expensive, and you're going to see that, for instance, if you want to enroll to university abroad, or if you want to go to another country because it is a requirement, it does give you this general view of how you stand also with other types of assessments that you need to take in order to study abroad or, get a job abroad. So you're going to see that it is a scalable result. It will give you the specifics, and it also gives you an idea of what things you need to do in order to improve your English. So if you go to the next slide. Okay, so notice that the versant is going to give you the scores. And like I mentioned to you before, we take a test and we're like, okay, this is the one test that I'm going to take and it's going to be a 48. But how do I know that this test is going to, this is a question that Ludmila had for the previous speaker. She's like, well, does this relate to, TOEFL and things like that? Well, this one does. It gives you a report on how you are with the Global Scale of English, with the Common European Framework, with TOEFL. And you're going to see that it does give you the ranges in where they will fall or what specific frame they're going to be for each one of those types of assessments. So it gives you the overall score for the versant, which is going to, understand your sentence mastery, your vocabulary, your fluency and pronunciation, your typing, and then you're going to get that connection with the other one. So you're going to see that GSC, Common European, TOEFL, you're going to see that report is there. You're not going to say, oh my God, I got this, but this doesn't make any sense to me. This actually will give you that report. Say, oh, okay, well, I'm going to take the TOEFL now because I know that this is my section, because some universities only take certain type of assessments. If we can go to the next one. Okay. So again, assessments. Not only, at a higher age do we need assessments, we also need to assess our students, our younger students. So in this case, even though I'm going to go to, okay, thank you. Even though we're going to go, the set of assessments will help us work with our students. So this one will be a little bit more for the younger students, but we can implement it, of course, for the younger set of kids. And it's going to give us a projection of what skills the students have. Some of the skills that they master, you're going to see that some are working with the Common European Framework, some of them working with American standards. So you're going to see that they're going to be working with them, and they're going to identify the skills that they're missing, and it's going to provide you with that resource or that gaps that the teachers do need to have available in order for them to help their students, because the assessment is not something to judge the teacher, but it is something that will provide you with the information to to read and to prep them, you know, in the future. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so who can do this? Why do we choose this type of assessments? Because we want to know where our students are. We want to help them. We don't want to throw them out there in the world without knowing what, you know, just making sure that they do it. But we're going to really give an idea of where they're standing. And as a teacher, it gives us the necessary tools to act, to help them out, to provide them, and also create an idea, like a team with the parents in order for us to work better. You're going to be able to share a certificate of achievement with the parents, and you're going to also that the format of the assessment will help the students deal with stress. Because a lot of the times, I don't know about you guys, I know maybe Ludmila is, you know, I don't know if you're with me, but I get super stressed when I'm taking a test. So here, the kids are going to be in an environment in which they're games, and they're going to really enjoy the assessment. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about, you know, I'm terrified of assessments. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so here is going to be for the younger folks. It's going to be from 6 to 13. The levels, of course, are from A1 to B1. And of course, this one is going to be graded for Common European Framework and the Global Scale of English. Notice that both of them are going to be a constant within Pearson, as Xochitl mentioned yesterday, because one feeds the other. So you're going to see that the teachers will still have that Common European Framework that they're so familiar with, but they're also going to have the added bonus of the Global Scale of English. So the results are going to be within minutes, and the students are going to be super engaged. So we can go to the next slide. So now, my students are coming from different parts of the world, different levels, they're different. So here, I'm sorry, that one. Yeah, so the levels are going to give me that approach. It's going to make me understand where is my starting point and what is my ending point. Thank you so much, I'm sorry. So you're going to see the levels will help with those components. And again, you're going to notice that all of our assessments, all of our tool assessments, or family of assessments, I don't know how you want to call it, are going to really aim into understanding where our students are starting and where our students are ending. So we want to have that entire image within those different windows where we can really provide them with the necessary tools, like I mentioned to you before, and help them out into improving their language acquisition. We want to help them, we want to identify the gaps that they have, and we want to offer them the best solution possible, not only for the student, but for the parent and for the teacher. Okay, I don't know, I'm very time oriented, so I know I had a certain amount of minutes, so I don't know if you have any questions.
Hi, I'm sorry. Thank you very much, Professor Nancy. Yes, I was wondering because after you were presenting your books, you mentioned the parents. Are they involved in the whole process with the books? They are like, yes, like do they like take part of the teaching process?
Well, in this case, the results of the assessments that parents have access to, it is important. I always, as an educator, I believe that parents should be involved all the time in the education of their students. They do have the information. Of course, this is managed within the classrooms, but it's important for parents to be involved, especially whenever we're talking about assessments such as level and benchmark, because we want them to help their students at a young age. And this is, if you want to create a successful learning environment, you have to create a community. It's one person that is affected by everybody around them.
Yeah, and you're totally right. I also get a bit nervous every time that I have to take a test. It's pretty normal, I guess. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yes. Well, thank you very much. I think we don't have any other questions right now. But anyway, if there are any other questions, we'll let you know at the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias. Muy interesante toda esta información que nos compartieron ahorita. ¿Qué les ha parecido hasta ahora nuestra jornada? Realmente hemos visto material de primera calidad. Recuerden que tenemos un espacio especial para responder todas sus dudas. Pueden dejarlas en el chat y luego les estaremos respondiendo. No olviden participar en el concurso. Es muy fácil. Solo deben acompañarnos durante nuestra feria virtual y seguir a Oserco en su cuenta de Instagram, @OsercoBooks. Y no dejen de visitar su página web www.osercobooks.com. Allí podrán ver su catálogo de libros con precios de regalos en todas las categorías.